Well, you've been great, and I particularly thank those people who have stayed on through the end. I know it's tough after an hour or so to sit through, but there's so much valuable information that has been presented today. And let's take one question. There must be one question out there for the people who have presented this morning, and then we'll let everybody run off. Anyone have anything that they would like to raise with our panelists? Or go ahead.
Block and tackle. My question is to you, Lee. Looking at your proposed staging for the Burj, I would be concerned when we come to all the setbacks, and let's call them setbacks. At that point, how are you going to stabilize your cable? You're going quite a distance, and we all know what can happen once cable starts. That's probably a layman's term.
The cables are not being restrained. They're not. The cradle is being restrained, and it never loses contact with the face of the building, including on the setbacks when it makes the transition. When it leaves the face of the main tower, it engages a track that goes around the perimeter of the setback. It attaches to that to get down to the next location. But the cables are not restrained, and they're not restrained on a building with mullions either. The only time they're restrained is typically when you have a self-powered platform and you're not going to make transitions over setbacks. The minute you come to a setback, you can't have a restraint on the suspension cables.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question of John and Aaron, and then maybe we'll wrap it up. My question is that you talked a lot about life safety and crisis management, and much of it on Burj is driven by a very proactive, very intelligent client in EMAR. How much of it today is driven by developers like EMAR, and how much of it is driven by municipalities, cities, and other enlightened agencies and governments? Or are we just lucky here at the Burj, and in fact it's a tough sell in many other locales?
It all depends on the project team. We've been very fortunate with EMAR and some other projects in the region where it really is a team effort, and getting into the civil defense early, allowing them to voice their opinions and their concerns, and that's something we take to heart and we bring back to the design team to integrate into the design. But then the developers have been just amazing to work with. They have been very proactive, always wanting their money spent well and to get the best building and the highest level of safety. So now, some jurisdictions you'll find that the minimum requirement and the codes and the standards is ideal for the building, but we have been very fortunate.
Great. Okay. I guess one last thank you for our presenters today, and thank you for being a great audience. And I'm sure that gentlemen will stick around if you have any further questions. Thanks a lot.